Good morning, class 9 students, and welcome to another online physical science class. Today I am going to start matter. Most of the matter are found to be in one of the three phases: solid, liquid, and gaseous. As the liquids and gases are capable of flowing, so they are commonly called as fluid. A liquid has definite volume but no definite shape and always takes the shape of the container. On the other hand, a gas like air has neither a definite shape nor definite volume. It occupies whole of the volume of the container. Further, a liquid is almost incompressible while a gas is highly compressible. So fluid contained in a vessel exerts a force on every part of the surface of the vessel in contact with the fluid. This force always acts normally to any surface in contact with the fluid. So, the pressure at a point due to a fluid is the normal force exerted by the fluid on unit area containing the point. So, pressure, symbol P, small p or capital P, is the force applied perpendicular to the surface of an object per unit area over which that force is distributed. Pressure may also be expressed in terms of standard atmospheric pressure. The atmosphere is equal to this pressure, and the torr is defined as 1 by 760 of this. SI unit is Pascal. In SI, base units 1 Newton per meter square, 1 kg per meter into second square, or 1 joule per meter cube. Derivations from other quantities. P is equal to F by A. Derivations, or this is the mathematical expression. So the force which makes an object move. For example, in a car, the force produced by the engine making the car move forward is the thrust. In a rocket, the thrust of the engines makes the rocket take off. So from pressure, thrust word is coming here. Now see the diagram. In the first diagram, how force generally exerted on a surface or by a surface that has been shown. P is equal to F by A. In the second diagram, generally what is pressure? A diagrammatical representation is there. But in the third diagram, it has been shown what is thrust. So thrust is a basically mechanical force generated by the engines to move the aircraft throughout the air. Now let F be the normal force exerted by the fluid on a very small area, surrounding a point on the containing vessel. Then the pressure P at the point is given by P is equal to F by A. Or else you can write F is equal to P into A, where F is called the thrust, the normal force exerted by a fluid on any surface in contact with it is called thrust. Thus, thrust is equal to pressure into area. Pressure is a scalar quantity as it has no directional property, while thrust is a vector quantity. So this is the basic difference between force and thrust. The SI and CGS units of pressure are Newton per square meter and dyne per square centimeter. The SI unit of the pressure is also called Pascal. Thus 1 Pascal is equal to 1 Newton per meter square. Pressure of a liquid at a point we are going to discuss in the next slide. Now pressure of a liquid at a point. Hydrostatic pressure refers to the pressure exerted by a fluid, gas or liquid at any point in space within that fluid, assuming that the fluid is incompressible and at rest. That means fluid is not moving this is in static condition, and hydrostatic word has come from the word water, because hydro means water. So water pressure. Pressure within a liquid depends only on the density of the liquid, the acceleration due to gravity, and the depth within the liquid. So pressure due to the weight of a liquid of constant density is given by P is equal to rho into G into H. So ultimately P is equal to rho into G into H, where P is the pressure, H is the depth of the liquid, rho is the density of the liquid, and G is the acceleration due to gravity. Now see the diagram. Pressure of a liquid at a point has been shown. Weight is equal to M into G, and H is the depth, area is the area of cross section. So I'm telling you how it is coming. Consider a horizontal area A containing the point P at a depth h below the surface of liquid of density rho. Let us imagine a vertical column inside the liquid having base of area A. Thus, volume of the liquid column is equal to A into H. Mass of the liquid column is equal to A into H into rho. Weight of the liquid column is equal to A into H into rho into G, where G is the acceleration due to gravity, is equal to F, is equal to force acting at P. So pressure P is equal to F by A. If I'll put the value of F instead of F, it will come P is equal to A into H into rho into G divided by A. So after reducing, it will come P is equal to H into rho into G. Characteristics of liquid pressure. The characteristics of liquid pressure are: liquid pressure increases with depth, liquid pressure remains the same in all directions at a given depth, liquid pressure depends upon the density of the liquid, liquid exerts pressure on the sides of the container, a liquid seeks its own level. So pressure at a point in a liquid at rest is the same in all directions. Pressure at all points at the same horizontal level is in a liquid at rest is the same. The liquid pressure is independent of the shape of the liquid surface or the area of the liquid surface, but depends upon the height of liquid column. Total pressure at a depth h below the liquid surface is equal to P plus H into rho into G, where P is the atmospheric pressure and rho is the density of the liquid. Average pressure on the side walls of a container having liquid of density rho up to a height h is 1 by 2 H into rho into G. And the last point, the liquid pressure is a scalar quantity. Now see the diagram. A diagrammatic representation is there where it has been shown the characteristics of liquid pressure. Liquids find its own level. Pour water in one of these tubes. You will see that the water flows into each tube till the water level in all tubes becomes equal. The surface of water in every tube is horizontal. This shows that liquids keep their own level and free surface of a liquid at rest is always horizontal. After seeing the diagram, hope so you have understood this thing. Now, a number of vessels having different shapes are interconnected in the figure. When some liquid is poured into them, it is found that the surfaces of the liquid in each vessel stands at the same level. Whatever be the shape or size of the vessel, the points A, B, C, D and E are at same horizontal level, and so pressures at these points must be same. Thus, the level of the surface in each vessel must be the same, and it can be said that liquid finds its own level. The application of this phenomenon are found in the water supply in a city or a big housing complex. Water is pumped to a water tank placed at some highest point of the city, and water is distributed through pipelines spread over the city. Water comes down to seek its own level. Atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure, also known as barometric pressure, after the barometer, is the pressure within the atmosphere of Earth. That pressure is called atmospheric pressure or air pressure. It is the force exerted on a surface by the air above it as gravity pulls it to Earth. Atmospheric pressure is commonly measured with a barometer. One atmosphere is 1013 millibars or 760 millimeters, that is 29.92 inches of mercury. So atmospheric pressure is defined as the force per unit area exerted against a surface by the weight of the air column above the surface. The pressure at point X, see the diagram, the pressure at point X increases as the weight of the air above it increases. The pressure at point X decreases if the weight of the air above it decreases. So the Earth's surface is surrounded with air extending up to a height of about 500 kilometers and is called atmosphere. The atmosphere mainly contains 77% of nitrogen and 21% of oxygen and little amount of rare gases, carbon dioxide, water vapor, etc. And the pressure exerted by the column of air is called atmospheric pressure. Now, what is a barometer? Barometer is an instrument measuring atmospheric pressure used specially in forecasting the weather and determining altitude. What is barometer used for? A barometer is a scientific instrument used to measure atmospheric pressure, also called barometric pressure. The atmosphere is the layers of air wrapped around the earth. How barometer works? A Torricellian barometer, sometimes called a mercury barometer, is an inverted or upside down glass tube standing in a bath of mercury. Air pressure pushes down on the surface of the mercury, making some rise up the tube. The greater the air pressure, the higher the mercury rises. Now see the diagram. Glass tubing, mercury, vacuum space, and height varies with the atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure shown by the down arrow, point A, at that point actually, and it has been shown atmospheric pressure over here, and mercury reservoir. So a barometer is an instrument for measuring the pressure of the atmosphere. A barometer consists basically of a vertical hard glass tube about a meter long containing mercury with a vacuum at the closed top. The other end of the tube being dipped below the surface of mercury contained in a vessel. Atmospheric pressure at the place is given by the height h of the mercury column in the tube. Normal atmospheric pressure is the pressure exerted by the 760 mm length of mercury column. This is known as standard pressure. Mechanism of barometer. Barometer device used to measure atmospheric pressure. Because atmospheric pressure changes with distance above or below sea level, a barometer can also be used to measure altitude. There are two main types of barometers, mercury and aneroid. In the mercury barometer, atmospheric pressure balances a column of mercury, the height of which can be precisely measured. To increase their accuracy, mercury barometers are often connected for ambient temperature and the local value of gravity. See the diagram. The simple barometer shown in the figure is due to Torricelli, and the closed space above the mercury column is called Torricellian vacuum. A practical barometer is due to 14 and is called 14's barometer. Its main part is a Torricelli barometer, which is a 1 meter long glass tube containing mercury whose open end is dipped in a mercury vessel whose base is leather made. P is a pointer which should touch mercury surface when reading is taken. By a screw, the leather base can be raised to make up the mercury touch the pointer. There is a brush tube in which the mercury tube is kept. The brush tube has a meter scale and a vernier scale for accurate reading. A barometer is used for measurement of atmospheric pressure, from which weather of a place can be forecasted. The atmosphere always contains some amount of water vapor which is lighter than dry air. So when moisture content of air increased, its density decreases, and so pressure of the air also decreases. Thus slow fall of the barometric height shows increase of moisture content in the air, and there is possibility of rain. A gradual fall of barometric height indicates bad weather, and it continues for some days. Further slow rise of barometric height indicates dry weather, and a fast rise of barometric height means a good weather. A sudden fall in barometric height indicates storm or cyclone. Siphon is a tube used to convey liquid upwards from a reservoir and then down to a lower level of its own accord. Once the liquid has been forced into the tube, typically by suction or immersion, flow continues unaided. The siphon is a liquid reservoir with an inverted U-tube. The liquid initially fills the tube. There are several methods to achieve this initial state. The purpose of the siphon is to drain liquid from the reservoir by liquid flow that passes over a higher level than the liquid surface in the reservoir. While if both ends of a siphon are at atmospheric pressure, liquid flows from high to low. If the bottom end of a siphon is pressurized, liquid can flow from low to high. If pressure is removed from the bottom end, the liquid flow will reverse, illustrating that it is pressure driving the siphon. See the diagram how siphon works. A siphon is a simple device for transferring liquid from one vessel to the other without disturbing the whole volume of the liquid or pouring it. A siphon consists of a bent tube with one of the arms longer than the other. The tube is first filled with the liquid to be transferred. The two ends of the tube are then closed with fingers, and the shorter limb is placed in the vessel to be emptied below the level of the liquid, and two ends are opened. The liquid begins to flow. Let B and C be at the same level. Let H1, the height of B, above A, the surface of liquid. H2, height of C, above the surface D. Please consult your book diagram while you will read this slide. Now pressure at A is the atmospheric pressure P. At D, also the pressure is that of atmosphere. Now pressure at B is equal to pressure at A minus pressure of liquid of height H1. That is equal to P minus H1 rho into G. And pressure at C is equal to pressure at D minus pressure of liquid column of height H2. that is equal to P minus H2 into rho into G. Here P is equal to atmospheric pressure. Now H2 greater than H1. Therefore, P minus H1 rho into G greater than P minus H2 rho into G. This means pressure at B is greater than pressure at C. Therefore, liquid flows from B to C. The flow continues to so long as H2 greater than H1. So, conditions of working of a siphon. The liquid levels should be different so that liquid flows from the height to lower level. Second one, siphon acts under atmospheric pressure, so it will not work in vacuum. Number 3, rate of flow of liquid will not change if the atmospheric pressure changes, because the pressure differences which controls the flow is H2 minus H1 rho into G. This expression doesn't contain atmospheric pressure. The principle of siphon is used in automatic flushes in latrines, in transferring liquid from one vessel to the other without disturbing the whole volume of the liquid, etc. Thank you, students. For any doubts or queries, please email me at sudeshna1.sma@outlook.com. Even you need to send your physical science assignments in this given email ID.